time for some top stories around the league as our NFL insider Jeff Darlington joins us again. Jeff, what more you got on the big news of the day out of Miami?
Well, Dan, it is big news. Mike McDaniel is out as the Miami Dolphins head coach. Steve Ross met with McDaniel on Tuesday. 2 days later, came out of that meeting feeling like the direction of the team needed a new head coach, and as such, McDaniel is out. Now, I will point to this. McDaniel, I've been texting with him already about this. He was obviously stunned and disappointed by the decision, but he sounds like he is very willing and ready to jump right back into this, whether as a head coach or an offensive coordinator, and I am told he is already drawing significant interest as an offensive coordinator and will likely get a few looks as head coach as well. Now, John Harbaugh can't talk about the Dolphins without talking about Harbaugh's availability. Now, the Dolphins making their decision independent of Harbaugh, but Harbaugh now is available. Now, I am told that Harbaugh is reaching out, doing all of his research. There is no foregone conclusions about the Dolphins. The Giants are still very much in the mix, as are several other openings. Harbaugh taking the weekend to really figure things out before he starts interviewing. Now let's keep it in Miami and let's talk about Baltimore. Anthony Weaver has multiple interviews, defensive coordinator of the Dolphins, one of which is the Baltimore Ravens, where Weaver played, where he is well respected. He will interview with the Ravens on Monday. Now, another thing to keep in mind, if Harbaugh were to end up in Miami, Weaver is still under contract. Harbaugh and Weaver work together in Baltimore, and somehow, Dan, we've just come full circle.
We sure have. This is all just getting started. There are names flying around like crazy. And look, some of these names we know, the Kevin Stefanskis, the John Harbaughs of the world. But, Jeff, you talk about a guy like Anthony Weaver, and I know Peter Schrager wants to take us through some names like that maybe the fans aren't quite as familiar with.
All of the names are going to see have either been confirmed for head coaching interviews or will get some based on knowledge of the situations, and they might not be household names. Let's start off with this guy, Davis Webb, 30 years old. Davis Webb is only 30 years old. He played at Texas Tech with Mahomes and Baker Mayfield and was coached by Cliff Kingsbury, then had a 7-year NFL career where he spent 4 years with Josh Allen and Brian Daboll. The last 3 years has been at the hip of Sean Payton. He interviewed with the Raiders yesterday. I'm told he interviewed very well. He will have other opportunities to interview. Davis Webb, passing game coordinator, just 30 of the Broncos. Go on, listen. The aforementioned Anthony Weaver. You ever see those guys on the sideline, those solid types that are just absolutely pumped up? No one gets more into a game than Anthony Weaver, and no one is as respected. Interviewing with Baltimore, yes, but he will get other opportunities as well. Former player, spent the last 2 years in Miami, but spent a long time in Baltimore, where he was in that Mike Macdonald, Jesse Minter, Harbaugh tree. Let's keep on going. Aiden Durday. Aiden Durday is interviewing for the Browns head coaching job tomorrow at 2 p.m. Who is Aiden Durday? He is the defensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Mike Macdonald might still call the shots. This guy has the DC title and was the defensive line coach in Dallas the last several years, where they had DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons and everyone else. Aiden Durday, pretty cool fact, he's from London. British. Thick British accent. Could be an NFL head coach. Let's go on from there. Chris Banjo, former NFL player, great special teamer under Sean Payton in New Orleans, just had one of the best special team seasons in the league, and he was coaching the Jets. The Jets, the only strong point of the Jets was their special teams. Banjo, getting interviews, going to have opportunities. Right now, special teams coordinator of the Jets, who knows from there. Last but not least, this one, maybe the deepest cut. Nathan Shilchase, pass game coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams, played at Indiana, worked under Matt Campbell for many years at Iowa State, has been with McVay the last 2 years. Now, Mike LaFleur is the OC. McVay calls the plays. Shilchase is dialed in, 35 years old, beloved in L.A., and has a lot of buzz around his name in the league. We'll see if he gets any interviews. Name to watch, Nathan Shilchase.
Yeah, it's about time one of those McVay assistants got some attention for a head coach
Make
spot.
them prove themselves.
We never hear about that. Back to Wild Card Weekend. We got 6 games across 3 days, including a battle between NFC North rivals on Saturday night as the Packers head to Chicago. New on NFL Live, this is from our Bears reporter, Courtney Cronin. Rome Odunze off the injury report and will be available to play against the Packers. No injury designation for DJ Moore either. Bears getting healthier. Forecast for this game in Chicago has a little bit of a Packers-Bears feel to it. 34 degrees at kickoff. Going to feel like 21. Tack on 15-mile-an-hour winds with gusts more than double that. About a 40% chance of snow flurries. So, yeah, Packers-Bears in the snow, in the cold, in the wind. We like that? Who do you think, Dan Orlovsky, who do we think that helps more?
I don't like that.
You don't have to play in it.
When you have a below-average arm, you never like that. Okay, so who does it favor? I think it favors each defense, but for different reasons. Number one, Chicago defensively is turnover-prone or turnover-centric. Weather will often help defenses create some turnovers. They don't cover necessarily great. Then for Green Bay's defense, it's more of a zone-centric defense. I do think zone defenses, eyes on the football, wind grabs a pass, it could help them, indifferent to Chicago who wants to play a little bit of man. And then I think with the quarterbacks, it really will, if those gusts are impactful, what guy's just naturally more accurate? Like, what guy is a naturally more accurate passer? I would say so far that's been Jordan Love.
Yeah, for sure. And I think even to that point, when you talk about the quarterback position, if the conditions are that, if you're getting snow, if the ground is slick, Caleb Williams does so much that he's able to scramble and make plays outside of the pocket. How much does that impact his footing and his ability to get around? And I think on top of that, as we talk about both of these teams, Chicago wants to run the football. And I think overall, when you put the weather to the side and you look at Green Bay, how do you stop this run game? So much with Chicago, we're talking about that tight end position, how they use those guys to move and shift. Well, something Detroit did when they came out 13 personnel with 3 tight ends, they put 6 linemen up there, 2 linebackers on the outside, and then they left Jack Campbell free. So you had 6 down, 1 guy up top. You can't get to the second level and be able to block the linebacker, and that freed him up to be able to run around and make plays and really stop that Bears run game.
We know the Bears want to run it, and they're great at it, but, I mean, I go back a year, all we were hearing with the Packers was Josh Jacobs and the run game. Is it not working the way it was this time last year?
No, they've run the football better really over the last 6 weeks, up until when they started to rest some guys in the last week or so, and some guys got injured. I agree. I think Jacobs is a huge part. I also think Josh Jacobs is probably the healthiest he's been maybe all season. I do think the run game point from Detroit is interesting because what helps is they play man coverage. Detroit does, so that helps to put those 6 across. That's not necessarily who Green Bay is.
No doubt about it.
But is that something that Hafley just sprinkles in to try to take some advantage? Because if you can get Chicago into a little second and obvious, third and obvious, that's a huge advantage for Green Bay.
And I think for Hafley, you're looking at it, since Micah Parsons has gone down, we have to switch some things up. We can't play all of the zone coverage because we're not getting home as fast. So before, where you can sit back and play zone and have eyes on the quarterback, ball has to come out, we're all breaking. Well, now on the outside, those cornerback position, bringing Diggs over, you have to force some of those issues.
One small advantage is, well, Green Bay's had essentially a bye week to prepare for this game, where Chicago has not.
Big-time matchup in prime time on Saturday night. We have a lot more to discuss here on NFL Live. Peter, what's coming next?
Well, we bring you to the NFL Live Lounge every Thursday, and we tell you who the most interesting man in the NFL is. This week's most interesting man is the guy who maybe had the most amazing 12 months